Hi, and welcome to the section on the music theory for the ukulele. And today we're going to talk about the general understanding of how to understand music. Okay, I wrote on the board the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now, basically music follows in this kind of pattern, an alphabetical pattern. Okay. This happens to be the key of A. Keep in mind, I left out some sharps and flats. You might want to take a little bit of notes on these presentations and these tutorials. Music follows this pattern: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, and that's all the letters that we're going to use. So in this pattern, or the key of A, when we get to G, if we need to continue this pattern, okay, we'd have to start from the A again. So we'd have to put A right over here again to start again. Now, this is basically a section of music. It's called an octave, a section of music. Now, music can go higher, the notes can go higher notes, so it'll go in this direction, or you can play lower notes and it would go in this direction. Okay. Keep in mind, this is just a basic understanding, and I'll start to put in more examples here so maybe you'll get to see it more. Okay, so let's just talk for now about the key of A. Okay, so in the key of A, whatever key we're playing in, it goes from that letter A, which we're talking about A, to the letter again. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it goes back to A. And like I said, every time you reach G, you have to come back to A anyway. That's just the way music is. Okay? So we put an A over here. Okay? So that's kind of a really basic understanding for the key of A and how music kind of works in the alphabet. Now, we've played a lot of songs in the first class and in this course in the key of C. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to write the key of C, which follows an alphabetical pattern. Okay, so you get an idea. So there's just two things you want to remember as I do this, and maybe you can start to figure it out in your head. In the key of C, it's going to follow an alphabetical pattern. That's one. Number two, when you come to G, you got to put A again. You got to start from A again and then continue. Okay? So in other words, whenever you come to G, anytime you come to G, you got to start from A again. You got to start from A again and just work your way up. So this would be A, B, C, etc. You see what I mean? See how it starts again? We'll start again. Okay. So now, let's talk about the key of C. So I'm going to write it right below, and I'm going to try to write the chords beneath this so you can kind of see this, okay? So in the key of C, once again, this was the key of A. In the key of C, we're going to go and write the chords out, or the letters out, for the key of C. And we have to remember that it follows an alphabetical pattern, so it has to follow same system as an alphabet. And then we have to remember that when we get to G, we have to repeat the A, or we have to bring back the A. Okay, that's just the way it is. Okay, so the key of C, we start with C, because we're in the key of C. The next letter is going to be D, because we're still following that alphabet pattern, right? Next one's going to be, what's after D in the alphabet is E. Okay, you can kind of starting to see a little pattern here, huh? What's after E in the alphabet, and we're in the key of C now, F. What's after F? G. And then after G, we have to bring back the A, right? Because that's just the way it is. So A is after G. And then we continue the same alphabetical pattern. What's after A? B. And we end on the same note we started with. So if we started with a C, we're going to end here. Okay? So that's the key. Now this is the key of C. Okay? And that's basically how it works. You can pick any key you want, and you start from that letter, and then you end on that letter. And keep in mind that after G always comes an A. Okay? After G always comes an A. So let's say we pick another letter. Let's say we pick okay, let's say we pick the letter D, the key of D. So now we're in the key of D. I'm starting here. It's the key of D. Now you can kind of, before I start writing it, you can kind of see that it has to follow some kind of alphabetical pattern. Okay. The second rule is that after G always comes an A. Okay. And if we start on that letter, we got to end on that letter. So if we start on a D, we have to end on the D. That makes up that little key for whatever notes we're picking. So we're picking the note D or the chord D. And let's write out the key. Okay. So follows an alphabetical pattern. E, F, G. Okay. What comes after G? You have to put A. Always. That's just the way it is. And then we continue on with our alphabetical pattern. What comes after A? A B. What comes after B? C. And if we start with a D, we have to end with a D. Okay? So this is the key of D now. Keep in mind that I'm leaving out sharps and flats. I just want you to get the basic idea about that a key basically consists of 8 notes. Okay? Eight notes. That's what makes up like a key, or we call it an octave in music, but don't worry about that for now. If you go on to learn more music, you'll learn that later on. But just basically 8 notes. You start on a note or key, or you pick in a key, okay? And then you're going to follow an alphabetical system. An alphabetical system, you see that D, E, F, G, and every time after G, you have to put an A. Okay, so every time after G, A will always come next. That's just the way it is. Once you put the A there, we continue our alphabet system. A, what's after A, B, C, D. So you can pick any note, and that will follow the alphabetical system. Okay. Okay, so that was a brief idea on how to get you started for understanding music. Go ahead and back up this tutorial, give that another listen to, and then when you have a fair understanding on what this is about, then you're ready to move on to the next lesson, and we'll see you there.